So this is the Alexa Amazon Spot. Yeah, I just recognized the calling name. So it's one of the more rare Amazon Alexa devices that you can currently only pick up mostly outside of EU. I had to buy it in the States to bring it back to me in Denmark. And it has replaced my old Amazon Dot. So the obvious difference is that there's a screen, and it's actually a touch screen. Right now it's showing, it's sort of shifting between different views. So right now this is the family Google Calendar that it's showing, and then it sort of shows different types of news, and that usually these are clickable if you want to see something more. It also does, of course, the obvious usual stuff that you could do with the device. Let me just give you an example. Alexa, turn on the living room light. Right. So this you can already do with the devices that you know, but because it has a touch screen, you can now also have this toggle that they've added, so that you can both you have an on and off, and then you can also define, what level of light that you want. Another example could be, Alexa, show me the weather for today.
Here is the weather in Rodover.
Right, again, so in just of actually just speaking the weather, it's showing me both the weather for today, and usually it will also show, right as it does now, the forecast for the coming days. And again, this is added information that's easily available when you have a screen, and something that would be much more difficult to convey if you had to speak about each and every day in the next couple of days. So something that you get. Also, if you ask questions like, Alexa, show me a picture of Clint Eastwood.
Here's what I found online.
Which, of course, you wouldn't could be able to do on the old devices. So stuff like that is really neat, and you can change the clock faces are configurable if you want something different. Let me, sorry, that was the wrong one. Home and clock, customize clock appearance, right? So let's say we wanted to have something like that instead. So you can pretty much configure different types. There aren't that many watch faces. I guess more will be added over time, but it's nice to have a couple of different to choose from. It has a night mode, which is defined by after 10 o'clock in the evening, that it goes into what you could define as a more easygoing brightness. So if it's in a room where people are sleeping, or in a living room, it just goes to a dimmer light with a red tint. So it's still easy to see the clock, but it's not as bright, so it's attracting too much attention. It makes sense. Actually, the funny thing about this device is that the old Amazon Dot that I used to have, that was easily recognized as that sort of device. But whereas this, it's only when I actually start talking to it that people recognize that this is not just a clock, it's actually a smart device. So something that blends very easily into the house. You don't get, right, this device has this foot on it where you can tilt it and move it up and down, which is actually quite helpful when you are using the camera on it. It doesn't come with the device. It's an extra add-on that you can buy. Amazon, of course, sells them, but it's actually quite expensive, and I found a much cheaper similar unit on AliExpress. So I would suggest that you look in that direction and save a few bucks if you're interested in this. Another thing that sets this device aside from the usual Echoes and Dots is it has a camera, which then makes it possible for you to do a drop-in. A drop-in is similar to a FaceTime call, where you can call from your mobile phone or iPad, tablet, and then you can do a two-way communication with the device. I can show you this. Okay, so now we are in the Alexa app, and if we choose the communicate menu, we then have the option to call, message, or drop in, and it's the drop in feature that we are looking for here. Then we can select which device we want to drop in on, and now you can see in the top screen this is my view from the iPad, and let me just turn on the mic so we eliminate echo here. And then you will slowly see that the image gets clearer, and this is my living room. So we just stop it here, but you get the idea. You have actually the option to define whether or not drop-in is allowed without consent on the device, meaning that if someone needs to press the screen and accept that there is going to be a drop-in. I've set up my device so it just allows me to do it directly, which is just easier for me because it's in a place where it's not, it is easily accessible, but it's not just near where anyone would sit. So it makes more sense for me to just allow it to do drop-ins. But again, it's something that you can define for yourself. So I wouldn't say that I'm using my Amazon Alexa device more now that I have the Echo Spot compared to when I just had the Dot. But I'm using it in a different way because the video part, the video calling feature, actually, yeah, that is quite useful and something that I find myself using quite often. So it also blends more easily into the household because many non-techie people will not notice that this is actually an Amazon Alexa device. They will just think it's a clock. So it's only when you talk to it and it starts responding back that people are surprised, you know, what the hell is this? So that's quite nice. It costs around $130 on Amazon.com, and you can get this stand for around $20 if you buy it, the official one. I would advise you to use the link that I'm going to provide for you in the description field, that you will find a much cheaper alternative on AliExpress. So save a few bucks and use it on a different device. But again, yeah, I really like this device. It has, yeah, it's more pointing towards, you know, where these devices are going, I think, with the added features of the screen. So it makes sense. Have a good day and see you later.